Hi, I'm Kade,
And I'm Bobby.
and welcome to the Newstead Group's Explainer series.
Okay, let's talk refinancing. What is a refinance? I've heard all about it.
Well, there's two different types of refinances. Refinance 1 is where you change your bank to another bank. It can be for lots of different reasons. The most common reason is interest rate and customer service. Another few reasons can be specific product features, or you want to take out more equity, or whatever it might be. Option 2 is an internal refinance, where you stay with your existing bank, you just change your product up a bit or change your loan around a bit, whether it be reducing the loan term or increasing the loan term, how many years you have left. But I think for the purpose of this conversation, it's probably worth talking about changing banks.
Yep.
That's such a big thing at the moment, and it's always been a big thing. We're changing banks to another service provider to take advantage of what they're offering. There's some good reasons to do that.
Yeah, fantastic. So you mentioned interest rates being part of it. Maybe accessing more equity for whether that's renovations or another purchase. Maybe it's a change in niche lender policy or
Maybe
something.
a combination of the few.
Yeah, exactly.
But probably the biggest one is rate.
Sure.
So let's say you've got your home loan set up at the moment and you feel like you're not really getting treated fairly by your current bank. So you go to the bank and you ask them, and this is always the first thing to do if it's rate, ask them, what can you offer me? And if they show you something and they say, this is our offer, take that to the market, see if there's something a little bit more suited to you. And then you'll probably find a few other reasons of why you're refinancing all of a sudden. You'll find that maybe your product doesn't have an offset account, like we've talked about today. Or maybe you'll find that you'd prefer to switch to a redraw product or a basic product. Or maybe you might think, hey, maybe I need to do some landscaping around the place or do a new paint job on the house. And all these different reasons can allude to the reason why I'd refinance. But I think the biggest thing about this whole process is speak to your bank first before approaching this. Because they're going to come back right at the end of the process and they're going to ask you, why are you leaving? We're willing to offer you this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been with my bank for 15 years. I'm a loyal customer.
Yeah.
Shouldn't I have a pretty good rate with them?
You would hope so. There's a term we use called loyalty tax. The longer you're with the bank, the more that they can inflate their rates over time to essentially profit from you as a client. Now, sometimes that doesn't always happen. Some banks are very favorable with this. But we find that sometimes some of the bigger banks and especially the banks that aren't working with a broker on your home loan, we go through home loans and we workshop home loans all the time. We reprice rates, we find benefits, we find advantages. But if you went to the bank directly, you'll generally find that your rate might be a little bit higher because you had a banker that wrote the loan. And over time, those bankers will check in on occasion, but I mean, they don't have to. They're not obligated to. It's the bank that's meant to be, their goal is to generate revenue for the shareholders. And I guess just from my perspective as a broker, we want to protect you. You are our client. You're our asset. We wouldn't be around if it wasn't for you. So when it comes to a refinance, there's a lot of different reasons to do it, but generally the biggest one is rate.
So do some banks offer certain incentives when refinancing?
Look, sometimes we have seen incentives like cashbacks being offered in the market. We've seen incentives like faster turnaround times through something called fast refinance. But I think what it all really comes down to is what your goals are. Because at the end of the day, refinancing means you've already got an existing loan set up. The bank that you're through at the moment can probably do what you're looking to do. But say, for example, and something you mentioned before as well was policy. Say you're on maternity leave. Your bank might not be able to use your return to work income. So refinancing is a really big thing. I think that speak to your bank first, speak to your broker first, have a chat with them and see if they can do it through your existing bank. But otherwise, there's a lot of reasons to refinance.
Okay. And what are the general fees or costs that it takes to refinance?
Great question. It generally varies quite a bit because if you're on a fixed rate loan, you might have to pay break costs for breaking your contract or the term of your loan. But commonly, you'll only pay the discharge fee plus some mortgage registration fees. So to give you a really broad figure, I'd probably say somewhere between $500 and $1,000 to refinance.
Yep.
So when you move to the next bank, you generally want to recoup that as fast as possible, whether it's through cashback as an idea, and we don't focus on those specifically, but it is something that's out there, or whether it's just the interest rate as well, or service and products. Like say you've got 20,000 in savings and you don't have an offset account, and you could put that money in your offset account and save a lot of money, changing to another bank, even if the interest rate's the same, that offset account could be really favorable. And all of a sudden you're saving money that you weren't saving before. So the way that you make up that cost to change banks doesn't always have to be the rate. It's just a favorable aspect.